beautiful to watch from start to finish.
They're not just competing against each other, but against every team in the nation.
Is still Alabama.
Roll Tide and welcome everyone to the Crimson Tide Productions studio right here inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium for another episode of Tide TV This Week. I am Kenzie Hughes and Roger Hoover, you are back. I missed you so much.
Missed you. Delaney Jones did a great job filling in last week, but good to be back. It's been a busy time here on campus, with Easter being on Sunday this past weekend. The Alabama baseball and softball teams played a 3-game series beginning on Thursday and then wrapping up on Saturday.
That they did. After 2 weeks on the road, the 14th ranked Crimson Tide softball team was back at home as they started their series off on Thursday, hosting the South Carolina Gamecocks. And it was a tight matchup in Game 1. Ashley Prangy got the Tide on the board first in the bottom of the third. This single to center drove in Kenley Cahalan to make it 1-0. South Carolina tied the game up at 1-all on a pass ball.
Went into extra innings and with the game tied at 1 in the ninth and with 1 out and runners at first and second, Cahalan delivered one back up the middle. Larissa Pruitt rounded third. The center fielder would make a good effort to throw to the plate, but it went wide and the Tide won it. Cahalan scored the first run for the Tide, then drove in the game winner.
And Montana Fouts pitched all 9 innings for the Crimson Tide, striking out 15 batters as she picked up her 14th win on the season as Alabama started the series off with a 2-1 walk-off win. It was a big win for the Crimson Tide to open the series, and after a rainout for Game 2 on Friday, the Tide and the Gamecocks played a doubleheader on Saturday.
And for the second game in a row, Montana Fouts got the start in the circle for the Tide.
Yes, she did, and for the second game in a row, Fouts was on fire as she struck out 10 and didn't allow a single hit in 7 innings of work. The no-no was the 4th of her career and the 2nd this season.
All of the Tide's 4 runs came in the bottom of the third, and that would be enough as the Tide rolled to the series win with a no-hitter from Montana Fouts as the Tide won Game 2, 4-0.
And she is bamboozling the Gamecocks.
Montana to do what she did after facing them Thursday and then throw a no-hitter against a really good SEC school. Just says a lot about her, a lot about Lance, and a lot about Allie Shipman catching her behind the plate. That just doesn't happen very often where you throw the no-hitter in the second game after you've seen somebody. So kudos to all 3 of them, and I thought our defense played really well.
Fouts, the PFP, 2 down.
I'm glad that we got that second win, and I'm really excited about our defense that game, and I feel like we put together some hits that game. Allie makes me look a lot better than I actually am. She's picking it back there and having my back, and I feel like we got a good sequence going.
Did she go? Yes, she did! The strikeout queen gets a K to secure the 44th no-hitter in Alabama program history.
And for her performance, Fouts was named the SEC Pitcher of the Week for the 3rd time this season and the 2nd week in a row. Including her no-hitter, Fouts threw 16 innings, allowing 1 earned run while striking out 25 batters in 2 complete games.
Fouts was also named the Wilson National Fast Pitch Coaches Association and D1 Softball National Pitcher of the Week for the 3rd time this season and 2nd week in a row. Fouts is the only player in Crimson Tide history to win the award 3 times in the same season.
And on her senior day, Ashley Prangy came through with the only run for the Tide in Game 3 on her senior day with this solo shot to left center. But that wouldn't be enough as the Gamecocks scored 3 runs in the first 3 innings. South Carolina won Game 3 3-1, but the Tide took the series 2-1.
And with that series win, the Crimson Tide now ranked 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. So the Tide ranked differently in all 4 polls, but right there in that 14 to 17 range.
That's right, and on Tuesday night, the Tide traveled to Birmingham to take on the Samford Bulldogs. The Tide did their damage offensively in the first 2 innings. Bailey Dowling and Larissa Pruitt each drove in runs in the first. Marley Giles scored on a fielder's choice in the second, and then with the bases loaded, Bailey Dowling brought them all home on this double down the left field line. That bases clearing double by Dowling made it 6-1 Crimson Tide.
Lauren Essman started the game and pitched the first inning, then Alex Salter came on and threw the next 4 innings to pick up the 5th win of the year, while Jayla Torrance closed out the final 2 innings of the game.
The 6-2 win over Samford was the 1,300th win in program history. The win improved the Tide's record to 29-12 on the year.
This weekend, the Tide travels to Starkville for a 3-game series against the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
And with the 36th pick of the 2023 WNBA draft, the Las Vegas Aces select Brittany Davis from the University of Alabama.
And with the 36th pick of the WNBA draft on Monday night, Brittany Davis became the 8th player in school history to be selected in the WNBA draft.
Davis was the only player drafted by the Las Vegas Aces, and she is also the second Alabama player drafted in the last 3 years. Jasmine Walker was also drafted by the Los Angeles Sparks back in 2021. Davis is a 2-time All-SEC selection and was a member of the first-team All-SEC this past year.
We had a great opportunity, especially myself and some of the assistant coaches, to watch Brittany throughout the college season, and just very impressed with everything that she did, not only on the offensive side of the court, shooting. I think she was 4th in the SEC in scoring, but also rebounding and an excellent defender, which is very hard to do in the SEC. So just really proud of her and the way she was able to lead her team and be productive and help them throughout the season and in the NCAA tournament.
Huge congratulations to Brittany and Brielle, right? Can't forget about her, and I can't wait to watch both of them develop in the pros.
Great player, great mom, and an even greater person. Congratulations to Brittany Davis.
The Alabama baseball team played 4 games against teams from the state of Mississippi this past week. We'll have those highlights coming up next.
Tide TV This Week is presented by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. Ford, for great offers on F-150, see your local Ford dealer. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is your ball. Swing, miss, ball game. Are you kidding me? Here comes Miss Jarvis. Alabama wins.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. This past weekend, the Alabama baseball team was here at home at the Joe as the Tide hosted Mississippi State.
Just like softball, baseball played a 3-game series beginning on Thursday, except Coach Bohannon's squad didn't play a doubleheader on Saturday. They instead played games on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
And in that matchup game on Thursday, the Bulldogs claimed a 12-8 victory, but the Tide bounced back in a big way in Game 2 on Friday. Drew Williamson got things going for the Tide in the second as he drove in 2 with this single up the middle. Then, the next batter up, Ed Johnson sent the pitch over the wall in left field for the 3-run bomb. That made it 5-0 Crimson Tide.
Dominic Tomez homered in back-to-back innings in the 5th inning and the 6th inning as Alabama's lead grew to 10-1. Will Portero would later end the game in the victory as he would single through the right side of the infield, bringing home Tommy Seidel for the walk-off run rule victory. Luke Coleman was solid as he only allowed 1 run in 5 2/3 innings to pick up his 5th win of the year. Riley Quick and Alton Davis came on in relief to finish the game out for the Tide as Alabama run-ruled Mississippi State in Game 2, 11-1 in just 7 innings.
Going for the series win in Game 3, trailing 3-2 in the 5th. Drew Williamson hit his 10th home run of the year with this one over the right field wall to give the Crimson Tide the 4-3 lead. But the Bulldogs rallied, scoring 5 runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings as Mississippi State came from behind to take the series and get the win in Game 3, 8-4. After that 3-game series against Mississippi State, the Tide toasted Southern Miss on Tuesday night.
It was a dominant performance all the way around for the Crimson Tide against the Golden Eagles.
That it was, and Alabama scored 2 runs in the first with Drew Williamson driving in Jim Jarvis for the first run of the game. A sac fly from William Hamiter made it 2-0. Then the Tide had a big 5th inning, scoring 7 runs total. Colby Shelton started the inning off with a solo home run to right. The Tide scored 6 more in the inning to lead 9-0 after 5. William Hamiter added a 2-run double in the 6th to make it 11-0. Then, in the 8th, Andrew Pinckney did the exact same. His double to right center scored 2 to make it 13-0 Crimson Tide.
Big night at the plate for the Tide, equally a big night on the mound. Jacob McNary picked up the win as he threw 4 2/3 scoreless innings, 5 from the bullpen combined to finish out the rest of the game, not allowing a run. Big night for the Crimson Tide as they routed Southern Miss in front of the home crowd, 13-0.
We challenged our team yesterday, we got to play our best baseball more consistently, really soon, and our guys brought it tonight, came out hot, scored 2 in the first, and Jacob gave us a great start. I thought that was big when Zane Probst came in the 5th and got that last out. And they gave us a chance to kind of break the game open there in the bottom of the 5th with a 7 spot. And thought all the guys in relief were really good. You know, Furtado gets better every time out, and Riley Quick had a really good outing. I thought he looked sharp. You know, those are 2 guys we're really counting on going forward. And Alton Davis, you know, threw the ball really well, and then Mosa finished. And a lot of production up and down the lineup, and good to see Colby Shelton barrel a couple of balls. And just a great effort by our club, really pleased.
That win improved Alabama's record to 24-10 on the year, and that improved the Tide's record in midweek games to a perfect 10-0.
This weekend, Alabama hosts in-state rival Auburn for a 3-game series starting on Friday.
We're just 2 weeks away from A-Day. Coach Saban and the Crimson Tide are hard at work on the practice field. We'll take you out to the practice field and hear Coach Saban's thoughts on the Tide's first scrimmage coming up next.
Tide TV This Week is presented by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. Ford, for great offers on F-150, see your local Ford dealer. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide.
Here comes the Tide.
Leave it all on the floor. If there's a knock on the door, don't leave us in, we the boys.
He can go. Burst at speed.
Go big, go home. Let's go. Go big, go home.
One right. Milrow 40. Milrow 30. Got it. Complete. Isaiah Bond. Touchdown, Crimson Tide.
Make the rules not follow. Go big, go home. Go home.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. I am Kinsey Hughes. He is Roger Hoover, and we're halfway through the show, Roger. It is time to talk some Alabama football, baby.
It is, Kenzie. Coach Saban and the Crimson Tide football team began week 4 of spring practice on Monday.
The Crimson Tide will practice 4 times this week. The Tide began the week on Monday with practice number 9. Coach Saban and the Tide will hold their second scrimmage of the spring this Saturday inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium.
After Saturday's scrimmage, the team will take Sunday and Monday off from the practice field and return on Tuesday to begin the 5th and final week of spring practice.
The Crimson Tide held their first scrimmage of the spring this past Friday in Bryant-Denny. Coach Saban said he was pleased with the progress he's seen on the field so far this spring.
I think the big thing is especially for young players, is to stay focused on what they need to do to continue to develop. Don't get frustrated about the success you're having. Don't get frustrated about where you are on the depth chart, because we really don't even have a depth chart. But when you get an opportunity, go in there and take advantage of it. So that every time we see you play, we're saying, wow, that guy's doing a really good job, or that guy's not doing what he's supposed to do. So, today we really wanted to evaluate how guys competed, what their effort was, what kind of mental and physical toughness did they play with, how accountable could they be to go out there and do their job. And I think first scrimmage, that's something that we really wanted to see. But I like the progress the team is making. We're not satisfied with where we are, but we're not displeased with the progress that we're making. So I think the key is to look at this film and everybody learn and grow from the experience and improve, so we do things a little more consistently in the next scrimmage.
And don't you worry, Crimson Tide fans. You can watch Coach Saban and the Tide in action for their final scrimmage of the spring on A-Day. Admission is free. Kickoff is set for Saturday, April 22nd at 2 o'clock inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. Well, shoot, Roger, I love free stuff. There will be all sorts of fun and events and activities planned for A-Day, from locker room tours, the Coca-Cola Fan Fest, and my personal favorite, the Alumni Flag Football Game. Excited for that one, excited for the Walk of Fame ceremony at Denny Chimes, and so much more. Track and field will also be hosting the Crimson Tide Invitational, and softball will take on Auburn for a 3-game series that weekend. For a complete list of activities and events, head to RollTide.com. And don't go anywhere. We'll have more Tide TV This Week coming up next.
Comes the Tide.
Leave it all on the floor. If there's a knock on the door, don't leave us in, we the boys.
He can go. Burst at speed.
Go big, go home. Let's go. Go big, go home.
One right. Milrow 40. Milrow 30. Got it. Complete. Isaiah Bond. Touchdown, Crimson Tide.
Make the rules not follow. Go big, go home. Go home.
Welcome back to Tide TV this week. The Alabama men's tennis team was in action this past weekend. Coach Usak's squad played one on the road in Oxford against Ole Miss on Friday and one here at home against Auburn on Sunday.
The Tide won the doubles point against the Rebels, but Ole Miss came back to win 4 of the 6 singles matches for the 4-3 victory.
The score will be the same for the match against Auburn, but this time it was the Tide coming out on top against the 17th ranked Auburn Tigers. The Tigers won the doubles point, but the Tide came back and won 4 of the 6 matches in singles play to upset the 17th ranked Tigers in their final home match of the regular season, 4-3. The men's final match of the regular season will be in Fayetteville this Friday against Arkansas.
The Alabama women's tennis team played a couple of matches on the road this past weekend as well. On Friday, Jenny Mine's squad picked up a big win in Columbia, Missouri. As Alabama took the doubles point, Crimson Tide were responding after that, picking up victories in 4 singles matches to secure the 4-1 win over the Tigers.
And after that big win on Friday, the Tide traveled to Fayetteville to take on the Razorbacks. Arkansas won that match 4-2.
Jenny Mines has been the Alabama women's tennis head coach for the past 26 years. This weekend, she will coach her final regular season matches for the Tide as Alabama hosts Florida on Friday and South Carolina on Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. And if you can, come out and show your support for Coach and the Tide and Coach Jenny Mines. 26 years is a long time, Roger, and it's going to be really tough replacing her.
Great coach and a great person. She will definitely be missed.
The Alabama track and field team was on the road again this week. This time, the Tide competed at Ole Miss for the Joe Walker Invitational, and once again, the Tide brought home several event titles.
Starting with Bobby Colantonio Jr., he picked up the win in his first outdoor event of the season. Colantonio won the men's hammer throw with a distance of 70.47 meters.
Chelsea Igborace followed Colantonio's win with a win in the women's hammer throw. Igborace captured the first place with a throw of 61.21 meters.
In the men's long jump, Julian Collins and Quincy Scott finished first and second. Collins finished first with a distance of 7.29 meters, while Scott finished second at 7.28 meters.
Chelsea Igborace picked up another win as she finished first in the shot put with a distance of 16.12 meters.
Alan DeFalchi picked up a win in the men's discus with a distance of 16.53 meters.
And Clayton Elder picked up the win in the men's 400-meter hurdle event. Elder became the second consecutive Alabama athlete to win the 400-meter hurdle event after clocking a time of 51.47. Very, very impressive performance from them, and the Alabama rowing team had a big weekend at the Big Ten Invitational in Sarasota, Florida. The Tide finished second in 3 races on Friday, and then on Saturday morning, the Tide concluded the Big Ten Invitational, winning 3 of 5 races, finishing second in the other 2.
Crimson Tide rowing team will take the week off before finishing the regular season next weekend in Raleigh, North Carolina for the Lake Wheeler Invitational.
The Alabama women's golf team is competing at the SEC Championships in Birmingham this week. They begin on Wednesday at the Greystone Golf and Country Club Legacy Course. The tournament takes place Wednesday through Sunday on the Par 72 course.
All 14 SEC schools will compete in a 54-hole stroke play format, which included 18 holes Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 8 teams will advance to the match play quarterfinals on Saturday morning, while 4 teams will advance to the match play semifinals on Saturday afternoon. The final 2 teams will go head-to-head for the SEC Championship on Sunday.
Admission to the SEC Championship is free to all fans, so
like
if you
that?
can, I do like free stuff, so if you can, go out and support the Crimson Tide women's golf team as they compete for the SEC Championship.
Yes, good luck to Coach Potter and the Crimson Tide this week. Don't go anywhere. We'll have plays and players of the week coming up next in just 90 seconds.
How about some noise at the Rhodes House? Sliding in around the tag is Dowling.
Ashley Prangy. And Alabama takes the lead. That's well hit to center. Montana Founds got her.
Jenna Johnson. Perfectly executed.
She's looking for more. That's gone. Alabama answers right back to grab the lead. Cahalan to center. That'll drop. Pruitt rounds third. She's coming home. Kinley Cahalan walks it off. Did she go? Yes, she did. The strikeout queen gets a K to secure the 44th no-hitter in Alabama program history.
Right on cue, the 3-run blast from Ed Johnson, and the Tide has taken a 5-0 lead.
Payoff pitch. Temez swings and cranks one high and deep to left field and out of here.
Melted again. Temez for the second time goes yard.
Breaking ball pounding the ground on 2 big hops to the shortstop. Deep in the hole, Jarvis throws to first. He got him. Pinckney extends and catches. Andrew Pinckney with the catch of the year for Alabama.
Welcome back to Tide TV this week. So those were our ATI plays of the week. Now we know what's next. Got to take a look at our players of the week, brought to you by Legacy of Hope.
And we know Montana Fouts is going to be one of those players of the week, as she was named the SEC and National Pitcher of the Week for the second week in a row, as she threw her 4th career no-hitter in a 4-0 win over South Carolina in Game 2 of the series. In addition to the no-hitter, Fouts got the complete game 9-inning 2-1 victory over South Carolina in Game 1.
Sticking with softball, Kinley Cahalan provided the offense in that Game 1 win for Montana Fouts. Cahalan scored the first run of the game and then in the bottom of the 9th delivered the game-winning hit with a single to center to score Larissa Pruitt and gave the Crimson Tide the 2-1 walk-off win.
In baseball, Dominic Temez helped provide the offense in Alabama's run rule win over Mississippi State in Game 2 of that series. Temez homered twice, both 2-run blasts as he led the Crimson Tide with 4 runs batted in and that 11-1 win.
Had quite the hot bat, so congratulations to our Legacy of Hope players of the week.
Absolutely, and we're getting closer and closer to A-Day. This is a fun time of the year, isn't it?
It's the best time of the year. We got basketball, we got some WNBA, we've got A-Day, we've got everything going on here, and we hope you enjoyed it. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys back here next week for another episode of Tide TV This Week.
Roll Tide, everyone.
Roll Tide, everyone.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,